Hola clase. In this video we will talk about the pre-Roman peoples and their contribution to the Spanish language. The pre-Roman peoples are the peoples who inhabited the Iberian Peninsula or who had contact with the Iberian Peninsula through trading before the arrival of the Romans. The 5 groups or civilizations that we are going to see in this video are the Iberians or Iberos, Celts, Celtas, the Basques, Vascos, Phoenicians, Phoenicios, and the Griegos. The 3 main groups of peoples who inhabited the Iberian Peninsula before the Roman Empire was established there were the Iberians in the east, the Celts on the west, and the Basques on the north. Iberians lived in the eastern and southern coastal Mediterranean regions of the Iberian Peninsula. As one can imagine, the name of Iberian Peninsula comes from the name of this group. When the Mediterranean traders like the Greek arrived in the peninsula, they only had contact with the Iberians because they were on the east side, and they were called and they called the entire peninsula like with the name Iberia, even though Iberians were only this eastern group, and there were other groups in the peninsula, like the Celts or the Basques. There are very few remains of this civilization in today. Here we have an example. It's called the Lady of Elche, which is a limestone bust that was found in the city of Elche on the Mediterranean coast. The Celts inhabited the northwestern area of the Iberian Peninsula, and this makes sense if we consider those Celts part of a greater group of Celts here, who also lived in Britain, Cornwall, Ireland, and Scotland. Here we can see 2 archaeological sites in Spain that show the remains of Celtic villages that were called castros. Finally, the Basques. The Basques are a group of people found in the north of the Iberian Peninsula. Of these 3 groups, the Iberians, the Celts, and the Basques are the only group that still exists nowadays. They survived the Roman invasion and maintained their language. In this modern map of Spain, we can see the administrative region of Spain known as the Basque Country. The Basque language is still spoken in this region, and it's taught in schools. Although Spanish is the result of the evolution of Latin, the language spoken by the Romans, some words of these 3 pre-Roman groups remained and are still used in Spanish. Some words of Celtic origin are cama, bed, carro, car or carriage, and cerveza, beer, and camino, road. Some words of Iberian origin are barro, mud, charco, paddle, perro, dog, and gorro, cap. Finally, some Spanish words of Basque origin are chaparro, short, izquierda, left, muchacho, boy, mochila, backpack, and chatarra, junk. One way to see that these words have not evolved from Latin is to see how they are called in other Romance languages, other languages that derive from Latin. For example, beer is cerveza in Spanish, cerveja in Portuguese, and cerveza in Catalan, the 3 Romance languages spoken in the Iberian Peninsula, but it's called bière in French and birra in Italian, which is very different. Incidentally, it's much closer to the English word beer, which also has a Latin origin. The Greeks and the Phoenicians were 2 civilizations that traded across the Mediterranean Sea. In green, we can see the routes used by the Greek traders and the places where the Greek have left a stronger influence. In red, we can see the routes taken by the Phoenician traders and the places where we can see their past presence. The Phoenicians came from Phoenicia, situated in what today is known as Lebanon. The influence of the Phoenicians in the Spanish language is limited to the names of some cities. For example, in Spain, we have Cádiz, Málaga, Cartagena, and Ibiza. They are all coastal cities. Also of Phoenician origin is the name Spain. Phoenicians called the Iberian Peninsula as Hispania, which meant land of rabbits. The word Hispania was later used by the Romans and finally evolved into the word España, which is the name for Spain. And here we conclude the video on the pre-Roman peoples. In the next video, we will present the Roman Empire and its linguistic and architectonical contributions.